Hi everyone. So, I put on social media a few weeks ago that Reiss is going to be taking a slight step back from the podcast just for a little bit. But in the meantime, I still want to bring out content, so I'm going to get different people on the podcast. Today on the podcast, I have one of my very good friends, Eve.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, darling.
My name's Eve. I'm 24. I've been friends with Lewis since year 8.
Year 8, yeah.
That's about it, really.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. I'm so glad that you wanted to be on the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
And we're going to talk today about fan culture, fandoms, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to unpack from all these things. There's a lot of toxicity in them. There's a lot of good moments about fandoms, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely,
so we're going to kind of go through all of that and
Definitely, I can't wait.
Because you have been a fan of a certain individual.
Since day dot. I would call myself the UK's biggest.
I think that's the truth.
Are we revealing who the person is or not yet?
The
real ones will know.
The real ones will know.
Exactly who I'm talking about.
But for those who don't know, Eve?
So, Harry Styles, guys. It's Harry Styles. One Direction.
Yeah.
But since the split, it has been. It is Harry Styles, and I think I would say obsession, but in a cool way.
I would agree. I think it does border on obsession, but it's fine.
Oh yeah, I mean it's my personality trait.
Wasn't your old Twitter Eve 1D?
Yeah, it was Eve 1D, and it was my first ever Twitter name was at Eve Loves Harry Styles, and then it was Eve 1D, and then it was when he went solo, it was so his second album's called Fine Line, and then it's now it's Fine Line Eve.
Fine Line Eve, yeah.
Follow me if you want, guys.
Oh god, follow her on Instagram. Instagram, no, Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter. I do post about Harry Styles on Instagram as my story as well.
But I don't think his fans are toxic. I don't think there are a lot of. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think his fans are known as toxic fans.
I think on the whole, as I would agree, but there is certain corners,
right?
Which is actually what he referenced it as in an interview the other day. There's corners of Twitter of Harry Styles fan Twitter, which are they are terrible. They are awful.
Right.
I feel I'm on a side of Twitter where I'm careful with who I follow, and there's a similar sort of, but there is sometimes you see the replies to other tweets and they're just so awful.
Would you say that some of his fans, because I know I'm a massive fan of Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, all those sort of things, and sometimes if you tweet something slightly negative about Beyonce or Nicki Minaj, the fans will go wild.
Oh god, yeah. It's it's personal.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm the same. I've had conversations with people, some of my friends, some and we've been talking about, they're Harry Styles, we get talking, and they're God, you're so, crazy, whatever. But I know that I'm not. I am just. I mean, maybe I am. No,
Would you say that you border on stan? Or are you just a major fan? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Because I'm a fan of Beyonce and Nicki Minaj and all those kind of things, but I don't think right now, I mean, there was a time where I was a stan.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that I am that toxic like the other people, where if someone said Beyonce's overrated, I'd be I don't think she is, but I can see why you might think.
Yeah.
Whereas some people would literally come down on them like a ton of bricks. As you say, it's it's personal.
Yeah.
What do you mean Beyonce's overrated? And then they come and attack that person. And I find those fans so wild.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I just find it insane that you have taken a comment about someone that you don't know and that doesn't know you so personally.
Yeah.
It's just insane to me. And it's the same kind of thing. I watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I think it's a really good show and it's really fun. But the fans are wild, so much so that there have been times where RuPaul has got to the finale and he's tried to crown a queen, but instead of crowning the queen that has done the best in the competition, he has crowned the queen that the fans have basically bullied him into crowning.
Yeah.
like, oh well, I like this
peer
person.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must crown, and if you don't, then you're
We're
a
not watching
homophobe
anymore.
or you're a transphobe or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that people have to change their opinions and things so much.
Yeah.
Because of these fans, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things where people like. I think when you get so deep down into it, there's the people that actually. I hope that they'd look back on themselves in a few years and think, what the fuck was I doing?
Because I look back, because I'm a massive Doctor Who fan, as you know, as a lot of people know.
Yeah.
And there have been times before where people have said, Doctor Who's shit, and I've been like, no, it's not. Like, talking to them as if it's offended me.
Yeah.
Just because I like the show. Not everyone's going to like the same things, but just because I like the show, I was like really offended, and I kind of look back now and I go, "Oh God, like that's so cringe." And as you say, I hope that there are people out there that would look back and go, "Oh God, I really acted like that, like over one person."
Well, yeah, like say take me a few years ago, probably One Direction days for sure. Like I've never like my main thing, and also I just don't think it's really in me myself. Is I will never be horrible on Twitter, like But also I don't really. I think my main thing has always been like if. It sounds really like sometimes when I say it out loud I'm like, God, this is actually embarrassing, but like if Harry Styles himself is happy, then that's fine.
Yeah,
like because people like rip him apart for who he's dating, or you know, like
what he
anything
wears,
he does,
all that
what
kind
he
of
wears.
stuff.
And like I've been in conversations with people like my friends, and they're like, oh God, but you know he dresses like this and he dresses like this, and I obviously feel the need to defend him. But like I think a few years ago that would have like upset me, but now I think over maturing, because like. You sort of get to that stage where he's not actually that much older than us.
Yeah.
He's like you sort of grow up with them.
Yeah.
And like you're like, you know, your mind frame changes and whatnot, and then you sort of think like, you know what, people are always gonna have their opinions, and just because they don't agree with me, like that's absolutely fine. Like I've been in like people can sit and rip it out of him, and I'll just be like, that's fine, but I still like him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's what it comes down to, because I remember distinctly, like I think when it was still One Direction days. And it was when Zayn had just left the band.
Oh, God.
And we were on the bus together.
You mean the worst day of my life?
Literally. We were on the bus together. And I remember I got off the bus. And I think I just made a comment. And you were literally sobbing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you were basically saying, don't say that. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is it really that deep?
Oh, no,
like...
because... So to take you back to the 25th of March, on that doomsday. So we were in year 12.
Yeah, year 12.
And I remember, well, no, so that day I was actually off school. I was really sick that day. I was off school.
Oh, yeah, I think it might have been a few days afterwards or something.
And I remember it was at 4 o'clock. They like set the announcement. I remember I was lying in bed and I really didn't feel well. And of course I had like all of the Twitter notifications for everyone on. And it was the One Direction like band account. And they tweeted this picture. So I instantly clicked on the link. And I remember it started off like, after 5 wonderful years, Zayn Malik, and like I genuinely felt like my world had crumbled.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I was so hysterical, like I was sobbing. I remember my mum was still at work, but my dad was home, and he came running up to my room, and I think because I'd been ill all day, he thought like something had happened.
Oh, no.
And he ran up, he was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you know when you're so upset that you can't actually get your words out? I was like, like couldn't like, and then I finally managed to say it. And he had to like call my mum, and she had to come home from work early because I was like so inconsolable. Like, and then I remember going back to school the next day, and I was wearing my One Direction t-shirt in like, you know, solidarity, and everyone was like, you know, like instantly, like people were taking the piss, which I get, because that's what sort of I was known as, you know, I was the girl that liked One Direction. Like anytime it was said in science, like everyone would like turn around and be like, oh, you hear that?
Oh, One Direction. Yeah.
But, that was. I
mean, I feel like I have, again with Doctor Who, like I feel like I've borderlined on that kind of, but obviously each actor that's played the Doctor at some point regenerates, and they have to like move on and all that kind of stuff. I distinctly remember the 1st of January 2010. David Tennant was leaving the show, he regenerated and all that kind of stuff. And I was in floods of... I'm talking like, same as you, I was inconsolable.
Yeah.
It was awful. And I remember then, I saw Matt Smith come on the screen, who was the next Doctor. And I instantly said, I'm not watching this show.
Yeah.
I'm not watching this show, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Because nobody can be the Doctor. No one. because he's the Doctor. And I remember I didn't give his series a chance for a while.
Mm.
And then I came back to it because I was like, I do kind of miss watching Doctor Who and I want to watch it again. And when I actually watched it, to be honest, like when I gave it a chance, it was good. But I remember being that person that was like, I'm not watching this show.
Yeah.
There was loads of us. I think there was talks with the BBC of they were potentially thinking of cancelling the show altogether because how was anyone going to replace David Tennant?
Yeah.
So there were so many Whovians, as we call ourselves.
Whovians.
Yeah, I know, right?
To be fair, ours was directioners. So.
True. So we're both as bad as each other.
We're both as bad as each other.
But I just remember sitting there thinking, I'm not watching this fucking show.
Yeah.
David Tennant's not in it anymore.
What's the point?
What's the point? Yeah. It was crazy. And I feel like that, like I've just recently watched Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know whether I was going to like it when I first watched it. A lot of my friends had said, you should watch it. I think it's really good. And so I gave it a chance and I got really into it. Like I binged it in like 2.5 weeks, which is insane. And I don't know if you've seen the discourse on social media, but have you seen Stranger Things?
I've definitely seen season 1. I think I've seen half of season 2, and then I watched part 1 of the season that's just happened.
So you know.
So but Paddy loves it, so I've been like dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
I know sort of what's going on.
There's one character called Eddie who is very attractive, and people really like him and all that kind of stuff. But it's got to a point now where people are making Eddie Munson their entire personality. Like they will buy the merch, fine, but they'll also then like act like him. And I've seen so many really cringe TikTok videos of the people using the soundbite of him and his speech in his first episode, and they're trying to copy his mannerisms and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's just getting to the point where it's cringe now.
Yeah.
And it's entered that kind of like culture.
See, this is sort of where like I feel like I probably definitely did that with Harry Styles when I was younger. And I think if TikTok had been around, although it sort of was, but it wasn't. TikTok's huge now. Like everyone's got TikTok.
Yeah.
But like even if you don't make videos, like I feel like all the sounds that come like of him speaking and stuff, I would 100% would have been on that.
Yeah.
Like, I know in myself that I would have been like I remember like when I first found out that Harry Styles has 4 nipples, I was genuinely like googling like how can I get 4 like it sounds, I mean it is stupid, like it is, but at
the time you don't think about it.
You get so like in your own head, like I absolutely adore this person, I love them so much, which I still very much have those feelings, but like you literally look up to them so much that you actually like want to be so like them. So it's like I actually, as like when I see people like do that now, like on TikTok, because I have seen the Stranger Things stuff on TikTok with them, I know what you're talking about. Like I don't actually think like that's cringe. I'm like, I remember being like that.
I think the only reason I think it's cringe is because I again would have been like that, and I just imagine myself and I'm like, oh god, that would have been so cringe if I did it. And this actually brings me back when I mentioned before about how I used to be like a massive Beyonce stan and Nicki stan. It was at that point, and we were good friends at this point, like my peak like Beyonce and Nicki time. I used to go around the school and say to people, Beyonce is my birth mother.
Yeah, you did.
She just gave me to a family in England, blah blah blah.
Yeah, you did.
And I was obsessed. I used to walk around the school rapping Nicki Minaj verses, doing all these things. And I look back and I go, what the fuck? Because I couldn't imagine doing that now. Like, I still love Nicki and I still, will rap her verses and stuff, but in the privacy of my own home and not in front of my friends and the rest of the school. But I was fully like that. And
I remember awful. You saying to my mom,
oh my God.
Like, you told my mom that Beyonce was your actual mother and she had just given
me to a poor English family.
You used to say a poor English family. But like, I think it got to a point where you would actually convince yourself that was the truth.
Like, I genuinely convinced myself. And I remember for like years, I think even now your mum still makes some comments, like, but for years she was like, oh, how's your mum Beyonce? How's your real mum and all that? Did. And again, looking back, it's like, I actually used to be like that for real. Yeah. And it's just so cringe.
But that's what I'm, like, that's why it's so crazy, because you totally submerge yourself.
Yeah. Because you can be a fan, but this is like, as you say, submerging yourself into that culture and making it your entire life. Like, it became my life.
Yeah.
And I made it my mission to learn every single Nicki lyric.
Oh, yeah,
every single, like, nuance that she would do, like with her voice or things like that. I would do that when I was rapping it, not just like rapping it normally.
Yeah.
I would do like all the growls and the this and the that, and even facial expressions. Like,
but I think that was also one of the things with Twitter, sort of. So for me, when I think back on Twitter, there was the Twitter during One Direction, which was arguably far more toxic than sort of Harry Styles' Twitter is. But I remember the One Direction Twitter, it would be so sort of, there'd be such high expectations that like if you didn't know every single word, then you weren't a real fan.
Yes.
And I remember the name for the people that said they liked One Direction but didn't know every single word was Directionators. And everyone would be like, oh my God, she's such a Directionator. Like, she got the words to Little Black Dress wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
And it would literally, but like, people would send them death threats. Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And, thinking of death threats, I go back to RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, I've seen like, online drag queens who are innocent. They're just on a show. That's, that they want to be on and that wanted to be on for years. And because they won a challenge and, like, let's say your fave didn't win, you would send death threats being like, how fucking dare you, you're ugly, this, that, the other, racial attacks, all of these things. And these people are just like, I'm just on this show. It's not down to me who RuPaul makes win or like all this kind of stuff. But it's crazy to think that, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna go on record to say a lot of it is the younger fans. Yeah. So the fans that are, I believe, between the ages of like 13 to 17-ish. Yeah. Because at this point, it probably is just their whole life. Like, they're at school and all that. They've not really got much else to focus on.
You probably want to think it's people of that age.
Yeah.
Rather than people of our age.
Because you wouldn't think that people of our age would do that because you'd think we'd know better. But, the fans are wild. And as I say, there have been times where RuPaul has maybe crowned someone at the end of it who didn't... I don't want to say don't deserve to win, because I think everyone who has won has deserved to win for whatever reason. Yeah. They wouldn't have got to that stage in the competition if they weren't good enough to be there. Yeah. But there might have been some that maybe deserved it slightly more, like they've won a few more challenges or their drag is a little bit more expanded, things like that. Yeah. But again, because RuPaul doesn't want to face the backlash, and because the queens don't want to face the backlash, RuPaul's just gone, well, I'll do it. Yeah. It's not necessarily the decision I want to make, but I'm going to have to do it because, like, there was a point, like, on All Stars, because, like, RuPaul's got loads of All Stars seasons as well, and there was a point where the first three winners of the first three All Stars were queens that were white passing and, like, typically wore blonde hair. Yeah. So there were, like, comments going around that were like, oh, to win All Stars, you've got to be blonde and white. So then, in the fourth All Stars, at the very end, now this has never happened before, there was a double win. Okay. So two people had won the competition. Yeah. Which, it's a moment in history or whatever, but the only reason that two people won is because it was like, well, the person who did best in the competition is blonde and white. The other person in the top two is a black queen. Yeah. We've obviously never crowned a black queen before. Mm. I reckon RuPaul sat there and was like, I don't want backlash where it's like, oh, you've crowned a fourth white queen in a row. Yeah. Watch out against black people and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think that might have been the reason, as well as talent. Obviously, I'm not taking away talent, but there is that reason that they were probably crowned. RuPaul went on record one time to say that he wouldn't allow trans women on the show because it's like Olympians taking performance-enhancing drugs. I could be wrong in the verbiage, but then in a recent All-Star season, he crowned a trans woman, because I feel like now it's like, well, I can't be transphobic because look, I've crowned a trans woman. Whether she, again, I'm not taking away the talent, whether she necessarily deserved it in terms of the competition is different. Yeah. Her talent is amazing, but there were people who had done slightly better in challenges and who had probably had a better edit on the show, because again, that's, it's about the edit as well. The fans are just toxic, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
They are. There is that. It can get so like die hard. Yeah. But then I think that it also gets to the point now where like every single thing that the person that you like does just gets ripped, pulled, torn apart, just because it's like, I don't even know. I think because I'm not like I'm making myself sound like I'm the perfect fan, but like when you're just not like that. Yeah. Like, I think when I see like sometimes my Twitter will slip into the, like I'll see somebody will retweet or there'll be like a reply of somebody going, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Of like a real crazy craze. and like I read it, I'm like, you are like, this isn't right. Like, and I think that there comes a point where like obviously, someone like Beyonce or Harry Styles or somebody that's that famous, of course, is going to have that corner side of Twitter that's constantly tweeting them like hate, hate, hate. Like, I really like you, but blah blah blah.
Yeah, hate when you do that.
Can't believe you're dating this person. I can't believe you've done this. Can't believe you've done this. So like, I'm not surprised. Like, Harry Styles notoriously now just does not use Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them anymore. Like,
that's the thing. You see all these
people take it too far and ruin it for everyone.
You see these people, like these celebrities that these big celebrities that are like, oh, I need to come off Twitter or I need to come off this or that for mental health breaks, because people forget they're real people.
Yeah, of course.
Like, yes, okay, they're a massive movie star or like singer or whatever, but they're also a real person. At some point, they were like you.
Yeah.
They were a fan of someone else. Yeah. Just a normal person. So you need to understand they've still got feelings.
Yeah.
And I think people don't associate the fact that these celebrities have feelings. They think, oh, they've got all this money, they can handle it. They can't, like, you know. And I always hear celebrities say, never look on Twitter. Never, like, if you get big or whatever, never look at the comments, never read any of that stuff, because it is going to get you down. And I mean, the next thing I'm going to say is going to make me sound really big-headed, but I've had a few videos on TikTok that have gone quite viral.
Yeah, you have.
And I've read the comments sometimes, and some of them are just like vile. Like, some of them are just horrible for no reason. But I'm just grateful that I don't let it affect me that much. But when you do see comments all the time, it can start chipping away at you, and it can really get you down.
Well,
and all
of
that
course,
kind of stuff.
Which is why you can't blame them for getting people that like does their social media for them.
Yeah.
I think that's what's quite nice about Instagram sometimes, is that you sort of just, you can upload the picture and then leave it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's a bit hard with Twitter to go, because as soon as you go on Twitter, you're looking at what people have said.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Instagram, you go on Instagram and it's just a picture.
Yeah.
So I think like celebrities tend to use that a lot more, and then a lot of celebrities will turn off their comments.
Yes. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok, like a lot of big TikTok creators, who have turned off comments, or they limit certain people to comments.
Sorry guys, it's the chair.
Yeah, it's not. She's not disgusted. It's just the chair. Or like they'll limit only these people can comment on this video and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of them and their way of saying, like, I'm probably not going to get that much hate if I do this.
Well, yeah, and I think it's also that thing of not letting people get that far.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm actually not going to let you comment on.
So they take control back, which I think is really good, and I think it's very important. So don't read the comments, guys.
Exactly.
Never.
Don't read the comments. But then I think there is also that. I think we haven't really touched on the really nice side.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the toxic side of it, but
I think, I mean. We have talked a lot about the negative side, and I go on Twitter every day, I go on Instagram every day, I go on TikTok every day, and I would say 98% of the stuff I see is the stuff that I would want to put out.
Yes, yeah.
And it's just really nice. I think the thing that I've noticed about Harry Styles in the last couple of years, or actually mainly since he's been, I don't know if he's doing, he's on tour at the moment.
Right.
His tour's called Love on Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing that I really like about him, is that he is so like you must love everybody. Like he's like,
he loves everyone.
Treat people with kindness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's very much like a very loving. The majority of it is such a loving community, and everyone's really nice to each other, and everyone talks and he's like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Which is the side that I like to involve myself with.
Of course.
And like, comment on people's TikToks, and people are always really nice back, and whatever. And I think I went to, so I saw him in June, in Manchester, for Love on Tour, and it's really nice because like everyone was posting TikToks of like the outfits they were gonna wear, and I don't know why, but like everyone decided to wear like feather boas, cowboy hats.
Oh, nice.
So like you'd look out onto the crowd, and it was just a sea of like
people
everyone in basically like really bright colours.
Yeah.
And then when the show's on, it's just the most amazing thing. Like he's so interactive with the crowd, and you can tell he's so genuinely thankful.
Yeah. That
like everyone's turned up, and like as much as he's probably one of the biggest celebrities in the world, he's so like personable.
Yeah. Like, and that's what as you say, there are majority of the fans of a lot of these things are amazing.
Yeah.
So like I watch a lot of obviously Doctor Who videos and stuff, and I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of them at Comic-Con, and they're actors that have not been on the show for years.
Mhm.
Like David Tennant hasn't been the main Doctor since 2010,
Yeah.
and he goes to Comic-Cons and he's nice to everyone, will talk to everybody, answer
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he's not got time to do it, he'll say, but
Yeah.
every interview that I've seen, and like, I've seen a lot of fans that are like, you've helped me through really hard times. And it's not just with TV shows, it's with celebrities and stuff. And I like seeing that because they do use like music and TV shows as that release. And it's like, when I was going through really shit times, I listened to your music or I watched this show that you were in, and it really helped. And it's really nice to see the less toxic side of the fandoms.
I think, but like sort of going back to this stripping back all the fandom side of things, like somebody puts out an album, like for example, he's just put out Harry's House, and all the interviews he's done about it is basically like, this is sort of the album is meant to be like a day in his life.
Yeah.
So like each song, different, but also you can tell really meaningful lyrics, and I think that's sort of this is sort of the album now that's like changed, sort of shifted everything around a bit for like people previously that wouldn't have particularly listened to Harry Styles and now listening to this album because like the songs have gone viral on TikTok. Like people, all I saw on my TikTok For You page for like a month straight was people at Harry Styles concerts.
Yes.
Which I think now is his release, like he's in America at the moment doing like residency shows, fucking hell. And then he's coming back to the UK next year, which I've just bought tickets for. But I think everyone was saying it's so much harder to buy tickets this time because even though he was so famous, it's almost because of TikTok and everyone being like, I'm at Harry Styles concert, like, and everyone's like, oh, actually that looks sick. And this album being so popular, more people have bought tickets. So like in sort of the fandom, and we'll call it the fandom, people that haven't liked Harry Styles since the start and have now only started liking him, people call them locals.
Okay.
It's like, oh, they're just locals. Like,
yeah.
So like, say for example, you named me 4 Harry Styles songs, and then you decided that you wanted to go to a Harry Styles concert. People would be like, oh God, a local got tickets.
Oh.
So it's like, oh God, like they're just sort of, they're sort of popping in like, oh, I want to go to a concert because I love the atmosphere. And I think that's what's annoyed everyone that sort of hasn't been able to get tickets that really like him because the prices are fucking skyrocketed.
Oh, I saw. It's insane.
Like, oh my God. Like, it was actually stressed me out. I managed to get
insane.
2 dates, but it cost me like, me and Neve are going, it cost me like, I think each it was like 300 quid for 2.
Fuck.
But then one of the shows now for like front standing is like nearly £400.
Bloody hell. And there are people out there that would fully pay those prices.
Of course they will, yeah.
Like,
of course they will.
And I mean, if you do, like, props to you, but
if I had the money, 100%.
Oh my God, absolutely.
But
it's like when I went to go and see Beyonce, like I was in standing and I had a great area, but the people that were like standing close to the stage paid hundreds of pounds. Now, again, if I had that kind of money, don't get me wrong, I would bloody do it.
Yeah, of course.
But I do not have that kind of money to be throwing at concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's amazing experiences and stuff.
You know what, I really wish I did, and like I've just quit my job. And then literally, so I quit my job, and then the day after I quit my job, he was like, tickets are on sale. So I got my paycheck, and then was immediately like, I think this is the other thing. I was like, well, I have to buy tickets because I think there's this expectation of like, there was part of me that thought, Eve, you can't actually afford these tickets. But then there's the other massive part of my brain that's like, you can't not be at the concert because there's actually that thing of like, what will people think if I'm not at the concert? Even though there's not any people that are thinking about me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, you get some fan accounts that are huge. Like, there's an Instagram account called Harry Florals that's like the account that everyone follows. But it's like, nobody knows me in the Harry Styles world for being like, I'm not like big on Twitter. I'm not big on Instagram. You know what I mean? I'm just a fan. But like, I was sitting there thinking, I need these tickets. They're 200 quid. But like, what are people going to think of me if I don't go? So even though I didn't necessarily have that money to spend on the tickets, I bought them anyway. And then I thought, like, even though obviously I wanted to go myself, like I was going to get tickets regardless. I was like, why did I think? What are people going to think? Like, who do I think I am? I think people are going to be thinking about me. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean though, because like when Beyonce did tour, I think for me it's different as well because for me it was like, what if that person doesn't tour again? So for me it was okay, what people are probably going to think, why is Liz not at this tour, at this concert and whatever? But also in my head it's like, what if she doesn't release music for ages, or she does and doesn't go on tour, all of that kind of stuff. So there was also that in the back of my mind. It was like, you only live once. Like, I'm going to live in the moment. It's a lot of money to get there and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But it was so worth it. If she never tours again, I've seen her.
Yeah.
I've seen her
exactly.
in concert.
Yeah,
And I have those memories and I have that, like, all those moments. And I don't regret a single thing.
Oh, no, of course not.
And it's great.
It's like, there's a TikTok sound that's like, money comes around, but Harry Styles is forever. It's like, it's something like that. And I'm like, well, literally while I was buying the tickets, I was sitting opposite Paddy and I was like, should I get them? He was like, just, you're going to get them anyway. You may as well just get them. I was like, oh, I don't know. And like,
Well, you were there hovering over the checkout button.
I'm literally like on the checkout, like 4 minutes, 23 seconds to go. I'm like,
Jesus.
putting in my details. Like, I'm like, should I get them? Like, but like, obviously just for myself, like,
Yeah.
obviously I'm going to go to that tour.
Yeah, of course.
Like, people will literally message, like, as in, like, our friends, my friends from work, like, people that I just know, messaging me on Instagram going, did you see that Harry's touring again? And I was like, obviously.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
don't
Like,
ask stupid questions. Like,
people are like, have you seen that he's done this? I'm like, I knew that he did that before he did that. You know what I mean? Like, why you ask me silly questions?
like, I have a camera wired to his house right now. Are you dumb? Like, come on. Oh, God, it's great. But again, it's like the most recent series of Doctor Who hasn't been great. And after every series, I'm like, I'm not watching it again. It's not good. Of course I'm going to fucking watch it again.
You are, yeah.
Like, I'm going to keep going back. And especially now that Russell T Davies is going back to write Doctor Who, David and Catherine are coming back for the series anniversary. Oh my Christ!
I've only seen that one episode with all that the really scary stone people.
The Weeping Angels.
Oh God, they were. Oh my God,
Still to this day, they're terrifying. Girl, imagine watching that in real time. That came out in 2007. I was 9 years of age. Yeah, imagine watching that in real time as a child. That traumatized me for years.
I remember where I watched that. I was in a caravan in Devon.
Oh my
with my
God.
cousins. And my auntie put it on and she was like, oh, it's Doctor Who, it'll be fine. Like, we were all, like, pretty young. And,
honey,
like,
you got a big storm
me
coming.
and my cousin just, like, immediately screaming, like, what is this program?
Yeah.
Because I think I've only ever seen that one episode. Which I think is why, like, our sort of fan circles are so different. Because I think, like, for me, it's hard to get in the headspace of being really obsessed with, like, a
fictional
program.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Harry Styles is real. And, like, he's a real person and he does real things, even though sometimes that is hard to believe. Like, sometimes, like, I sit there in bed and I'm like, I can't believe that he, like, has a shower.
Literally,
like, he doesn't. He seems too famous to be. Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
I think that's why you have to, like, really bring it down in my own head sometimes, because it's so. I'm like, Eve, he's still a person. Like, he goes to the toilet, he goes for a shower, he eats food. And
that's, I think I had the same, like, when I saw Beyonce, I was like, that's a real human. Like, she's a mom. She's probably changed fucking nappies, before she come on stage. Like, she is a real human person.
Like, when I saw her in Manchester, I put on my story, like, the day after, because I was in the hallway standing, so I was, like, right at the front. And, like, there was a video of him, he was literally, I'm joking, not joking, like, he was no more than, like, 1.5 meters away from me. Which is the closest I've ever been to in my entire life. And I put my Instagram story and I was like, I actually can't believe he's, like, here in real life in front of me. And, like, people were replying, like, what the fuck do you mean? But it's hard to explain because it's like it's almost you sort of think about them so much and they're so, like, inflated to you that, like, they actually seem sometimes like a figment of your imagination.
Absolutely.
Like, it's like the ideal person.
I know exactly what you mean.
He cannot be real. Because he is, and he was there.
Again, I was the same at Beyonce. Like, I was really close to her. Like, where that door is there, that's how far away she was from me. And it was like, this real human woman is actually, we're breathing the same air.
Yeah.
Right now, we're breathing the same air.
Yeah.
She's not just someone that's on my phone, on my TV, on my laptop. She's actually here.
Yeah.
In the country that I live in, and it's just
crazy, isn't it?
Mental.
Like, because I'd seen, so before I saw him on Just Gone, I hadn't seen him since 2018.
Right.
Because he went on his tour for his first album, and then there was lockdown. But before lockdown, I got tickets for this tour, but then it got postponed for 2 years.
Right.
But then just before I saw him, like a month before I saw him in Manchester, I saw him in Coventry at Radio 1. And I think because I hadn't seen him for, like, however many years, I'm not sure. I waited there. Me and Neve stood there for 14 hours. Like, we were basically like one row behind the barrier. Like, we were at the front, and I had no food, no drink. Like, didn't go to the toilet. Like, 14 hours I was stood on my feet, and he was the last person on. And I'm not joking. I'm sure you've seen the videos. When I heard like it was like whoever it was, like, what are the Radio 1 presenters called? What's that? The one that's on I'm a Celeb.
No, not Roman Kemp.
Oh God, Jordan North.
Yes,
Jordan North. He's like, and it's Harry Styles, and like, I cannot describe the feeling. Like, it was like my whole body like went into shock because he walked out and he was wearing a purple and black like horizontal jumpsuit, and I'm not joking. I cried from the moment I saw him, like, to the moment he walked off stage. I was in floods of tears, to the point where the people around me weren't actually looking at him. They were turning around and looking at me. There's a video that has basically gone viral within the people that I work with because they all find it so funny.
Oh no.
Of me, quite literally, I am sobbing. Like, Neve sort of, he's on stage, she films him, then he turns around, it's me, but I am like sobbing with tears, and you see all these girls around me like turning to look at me.
Our life is the same, because I remember on the way to Beyonce concert, because I went with Amy, and I remember saying to her, I'm not gonna cry, it's only a concert, like, come on. Eve, the light turned off. Yeah? The light turned off. I was in floods for the entire thing.
Yeah.
And there was a woman and her boyfriend stood in front of me, and they turned around and they were like, are you all right? Like, are you okay? I was hyperventilating, I was crying, snot was coming out my nose, everything.
I know it.
I was in bits. I was like, I said to myself, I'm not going to cry. It's only a concert. Like, no, I was in bits. So our life is the exact same. I feel that on a level.
And then I think, although I was at the front for Radio 1, it was like a really big gap between the barrier and the stage. So I knew that although he'd probably be able to like see me, that he wouldn't like actually look at me. But because I was so close to Manchester, I was like actually thinking in my head, like, do not cry. And I didn't. Because I was like, he's literally looking.
Beyonce definitely looked at me and thought, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, I was literally thinking, he stood right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want him to look at me and see me in tears. But what didn't help is after Radio 1, I went on TikTok the next day. Tell me why Radio 1 had uploaded a load of TikToks, and it was literally, I'm not going to go back and look, there's about 3 TikToks where they're like, it's him, like the camera is behind his head, like on stage with him. Why does the camera pan directly to me crying? They literally, go and look on the Radio 1 TikTok. It is so embarrassing. I literally had people text me like, because I didn't have signal the whole day. And then I've come out of the concert, got on the train back to Birmingham, and I'm getting texts from people like, I've just seen you in tears on TV. I'm thinking, surely not.
Oh no.
I've literally, so many people have texted me, I've just seen you on Radio 1, lol, you're in tears. And then I went on TikTok. There's this one video, I'm not joking, it goes from Harry, like up close on stage to Harry. The next camera shot is me in tears. Like, snakes. Genuinely, like,
snakes.
400,000 likes, like 10 millions and millions of views, and it is me crying. It's so mortifying.
That's peak. Oh my God.
But also, like, I love that for me. I'm finally getting recognised.
Do you know what, right? I feel like we can't end this podcast without me talking about the biggest fandom moment I have ever experienced in my life.
Oh no, what?
You have been friends with me for a long time.
Right, here we go.
We've been friends through a lot of different eras.
Okay.
Do you remember my Misha B era?
Stop.
So, for those who don't know, there was a point in my life where Misha B from the X Factor was on it in 2011. I was obsessed.
You were obsessed.
Like, I'm talking, I was obsessed. I was that stan. Anyone who spoke anything bad about Misha B, I was down their throat all the time.
Yeah.
It was at the point where on her Facebook page, right, and Eve, again, you remember this?
I do. I know exactly what you're about to say.
On her Facebook page, she posted saying, the first 15 people that comment on this post with their name and their email address will have a chance to come and have dinner with me.
Yeah.
I was number 2. Yeah?
You were.
I then got a comment back saying, yeah, you're on the list, blah, blah, blah. I have phoned Eve in tears.
Yeah.
I phoned Eve
like
in
genuine
actual tears. I couldn't speak, like,
yeah,
one of those ones. I'm going to go to dinner with Misha B.
Yeah.
And then, was it the same day, I think? Or a few days later?
Yeah.
The event got cancelled.
You're forgetting an integral part of the story here.
Oh, God.
So they posted I remember where we were. Do you remember in school you'd go past the art rooms and there was that set of stairs and there was like a few RE rooms by the history rooms?
Yeah.
We were standing there and you showed me the Facebook and she'd like published a list of everyone that was going, and your name was in capital letters.
Oh my god!
and you
Oh
were
my
like,
god!
My name's in capitals!
Oh my god, I remember that now! Yes, my
The
name
thing
was in
is,
capital
I
letters.
got it, because I remember thinking, like, if that was me with Mondo, I would fucking shit myself.
And then when it got cancelled, I don't know why it got cancelled, but it got
Yeah, it
cancelled.
just never happened.
And then again, I phoned Eve again,
Yeah,
crying
in
down
tears.
the phone.
Like,
right?
genuine tears.
There have been times where I have like gone onto YouTube, or gone into YouTube holes, where I've watched every single performance of Misha B, and I've sat there on my sofa, crying my eyes out because it's like I love her. I love her.
But what's she like? Is she
She's
still
still singing. Like I don't know if she's releasing as much as she was, but
like I genuinely haven't heard that name since like
And I think the only reason you ever heard that name is because of me.
I wouldn't have known that name without you. Like
I still stand to this day that she would have won X Factor if Talisa didn't do it. She did.
I don't even know what you're talking about with Talisa.
Also on X Factor, like there were comments made, and you probably saw the videos at the start of lockdown where everyone was coming out about their X Factor experiences. and all that
Yes, I
kind of
did.
stuff.
Yeah. Katie Waisel.
Katie Waisel, that girl who was like, she was known as the Pink impersonator.
Yeah.
All of those things. Zoe Alexander, that's her name. And Misha B, I think, was one of the first ones to release a video, and she was basically talking about her experience and stuff. And on the actual show, she got branded as a bully, and there was all these headlines, B is for bully, blah, blah, blah. And that kind of stuff.
Bully.
You know what all these fucking tabloids are like. And I genuinely think that tainted her, because she was really talented, like she had a lot of talent, but I think that was one of the reasons why she didn't win. I'll die on that hill. I'll die on that hill. I don't give a fuck. Misha B, if you're out there and listening to the podcast, I love you and I still want dinner with you. My name was in capital letters. So please get in contact with me. Thank you so much.
What do you reckon? Is that a wrap?
I think that's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, any excuse to talk about Harry Styles.
Absolutely.
Any excuse.
I have loved this.
It's been really good.
And I really hope that everyone listening to this has loved it as well. Please like everything.
Do it, like, share to your Instagram stories,
TikToks, all that shit.
I have just thought, have we like actually just spoke shit for like how long?
42 minutes at the moment.
42 minutes at the moment. Hopefully it won't be 42 minutes.
No, when I edit it down, it will probably be like 40. But but no, thank you. And if you did like it, please, like, comment, share, everything like that, all over your social media. And as I say, I may not be bringing out podcasts in the same volume as I was before, but there still will be content coming. So just keep your eye out, stick with us, and you'll get your daily dose of time to talk very soon.
You'll get your daily dose. Don't worry about it, guys. And guys, remember, I love Harry Styles. I just want that to be known. Just in case you've already picked that up.
On record today, what's the date? The 4th of September, Eve has revealed she loves Harry Styles.
I love Harry Styles. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Who would have thought?
I never knew that about you.
No.
Not one piece.
Not. Hey.
Hey,
we had a good time there.
Thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you very soon.
Bye.